let's start by talking some general stuff first, right?
5, 4,
We're talking
3,
Euro Diamond,
1.
so
Attackers incoming. Defend
in
objective
class you're
A.
mostly talking about like handling big mistakes of the enemy and punishing them for it. Not too much strategy and really just playing solid, not making too much mistakes, understanding your hero, learning how to play it properly and stuff like that. But when you reach diamond, stuff start to change a bit, right? I remember when I pushed to diamond, like it's it's the start of like actually using some strategies, understanding more about pathing, especially if you're playing Rein, right? I'm talking about mainly Rein. Um, you so at this rank you need to start understanding more about your comp and the enemy comp and how you should play, right? Uh, so uh, Rein is mainly good in close range and one linear attack angle, right? And dive, there are two types, right? There's the dive they're running right now. They're running like a Genji, Tracer, Ball, Winston dive, which is very aggressive dive, right? It's very close range relatively. It's not all about poke, it's all about jumping people. And there's this like this hit scan dive when they're running. It's on second round, right? They're running this ball, og, and this McCree, I think, and I don't remember what else. Steel Tracer, right? Um, so like this, the second round comp is more reminding us of the ball 3 DPS comp from before that teams use to try and counter goals, right? Um, this comp is mostly about kiting, getting multiple angles, poking, waiting for opportunities. The ball is trying to displace people or finish them off. Uh, trying to the ball is trying to contest point while also displacing people and maybe finishing them off. And the rest of the DPS are getting as many angles as they can be and trying to get this damage either by killing or just getting people too low so someone else can. And the ball might move someone and the McCree or Tracer are gonna finish him off. So those two comps are pretty different, right? They're both divey comps, but this one is more about the long range, the poke, the multiple angles, while dive is more about setting up and actually targeting one specific person, right? The ball split comp is more about it's really good against close range packed comps, right? Like death ball comps. That's why they used it against stuff like goats. Obviously, it didn't pan out enough because goats had so much survivability and point presence. It was actually hard to. You had to lose so much point to win this fight. And when they switched the Rhine to Winston, they immediately lost the advantage because the floats with Winston was more like dive comp, so you get this disadvantage, right? Because the okay, let's do like a small uh, right. So there's this right, there's many comps, but there's the ball poke comp, right, 3 DPS comp, what's called, now you switch the third DPS for either ball or for either Og or Sigma mostly. There's the dive comp. There's the death ball comp, right? There's bunker comp, right? Now the relationship is complicated and depends on the map, and I'm not really a professional coach, so I don't really know everything. But in general, if you look at the top 3, mostly like ball comp is stronger than death ball because he likes to keep it high distance and split, while death ball really likes it linear and close range. And because ball poke has more speed, like, right, it has more mobility, death ball has hard time closing it against him. Death ball need to use objective pressure to actually force ball comp to fight, and it's the ball job in this case to ball sometimes the tracer to buy as much time for the team to actually be able to kill a death ball before it happens, right? And the death ball is strong against dive because the dive really prefers the enemy to be split, right? Dive, if the enemy is split, they can jump one person, no one can peel for him, and you just kill him. And the dive can jump death ball, but it's really hard to actually kill anyone because they have big survivability. They're really good at close range, and it's basically really difficult because no one is split. You need to really always like come close to them to actually do damage, right? Winston, Diva, Genji and Tracer can poke a bit, but you know, that's not really that much. So Death Ball is kinda strong against Dive Comp, and Dive Comp is strong against Ball Poke Comp, right? Because the ball poke comp is all about splitting up, getting angles. They don't have much punishment, right? The dive comp can just take, if they split, they can take them out. Okay, so that's the general sense, right? So in the 2 different rounds, they're playing different comps in that sense, right? In the first round, they're playing more of an aggressive dive, right? They have Now, I can't really blame you for it, but you give them the high ground for free. Like, in general sense, you might want to lose the high ground anyway, so it's okay. But when you play against dive, you really want to hold that high ground, because the dive want to get it for themselves. Because if you're playing dive, right, on offense here, what you want to do is be able to jump your backline without using cooldowns, or and at least put and at least have better ability to get to your backline, right? Jumping from here all the way to the Zen is insane, right? Even if you use your jump, because there's no really way for you to actually get to the Zen without jumping on him, you still want that high ground. And besides, if they use this high ground, they can bring Diana here, right? And if the backline is here now, the Anazen, it's much easier for them to actually jump your backline. So in general, you really want to keep that high ground for yourself because it protects your backline. But it's fine because you didn't really know it's gonna come, so. I don't have great tips for like this entire round, but something you need to remember, for example, is because the enemy has dive a lot, you might don't wanna back away from your backline too much, right? And peel a bit more and play a bit safer. Because heals are gonna disappear once in a while, right? Because if the Ana is being jumped on by a Genji or a ball or both, she might not heal you for a bit of time, so you need to be a bit more careful of that.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Let's see why you died, though. So, it's not completely your fault, right? Because, like I said, you can't expect a lot of healing sometimes, and you really didn't get any. But if you see, like, maybe it was because you were still complete, even though you are not nanoed anymore. But if you see here so many people, right, you might wanna be a bit more passive, and when you swing for the Rein, you can still swing against him, but try to keep the corner so you're actually safe while swinging and not getting any damage. Right, if you stand right here and swing at him, you still get the swing damage. You can still fire strike if you poke for a sec, but the advantage is you don't get any damage here. The Genji shooting at you, right? The Zen is probably gonna shoot you in a sec.
Thank you. Got it. Ready for duty. Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Okay, that thing goes on.
Which I understand, right? You know he has a shutter. Honestly, he doesn't, but that's a bit of a mistake because you didn't remember. He was taking the first fight as Winston, but it's fine. Let's assume he has a shutter. Like, you are plus 2, I think. Killed another one. Killed another one. You need to be careful from fat shatters, right? Because it's dangerous. They might actually flip the fight somehow. But honestly, at this point, like after your backline isn't in real danger and your Zarya is with you and split from you, just take the shatter. If he wants to use it, go for it. What the fuck? He's wasting his shatter, right? He can't kill too much, and even if he does, like, he's practically low. And besides, look, I'm not the best shutter blocker, right? I don't have the instincts of a cat, and I can't just like see he's dropping his shield and press my shield at the right moment to actually block it in 0 range, right? In a bit more range, sure, everyone can, but in very close range, it's really hard. So I get where you're coming from, right? And besides, like, your idea of thinking is good, right? You're saying, I won the fight, I don't need to risk it, I need to play safe, we win the fight anyway. What's more important, they don't make any big plays, and you're right. It's more important that they don't make any big plays, but if they can't really make a big play, you can swing a bit. Yeah, it was a bit pointless. The counter charge was good. It was a bit pointless to swing it in too, but why not? And right, against Rein players that play these safe against shatters, I don't know if you do it next fight. I did watch the rest of the play, but I didn't notice as much. But if I play against you and you play really this afraid of shatter, I'm not gonna use my shatter almost never, and I'm just gonna swing at your ass, cause like I get more value just by swinging at you, and you are forced not to swing at me. But yeah, it's different, so that's no biggie. What yeah, you could have let me You can also bait it. You can drop your shield for a sec, then put it back, right? Do it 1 more time, 2 more times, see how it goes. Swing 1 time, put your shield back, stuff like that, right? He was on the card, right?
Greetings. Oh, excuse me.
Card not supposed to go for the card. What the fuck happened there? Right.
Straight.
Greetings.
Honestly, I think it was a good shot. I don't know why it didn't land.
Head on the move.
We must keep it
Nanoboost administered.
The white tiger becomes
This other, I don't know. I'm not that into it right now, so.
Not as young as I
back
used
in
to
this
be.
case, right? You have trust your Zen, although they did kill your Ana, but honestly, like, you have to trust your Zen on that. You can't really pill for it. Like, this move might be fine if you didn't have trance, but if you do have trance, right, you need to block the nade. Way more important, right? You need to swing, but you need to go aggro to utilize on the trance, right? The advantage here is both trance is cancelling the Dragon Blade, but it also lets your team be more aggressive and actually win the fight because you have more healing against the rest of them as well, right? So you can go aggressive there. You really need to focus on that nade though, because that nade can win the fight easily. I don't know if she even used it, but at this point, you're gonna die, right? So die on payload or die fast.
Activating shield. How long is this gonna take? May as well have tires on this thing.
Back into the fray.
That's lucky, and this line is so stupid to do. The start was fine, right? You're... they get runs, they're pocketed, you get slapped, which is not that good, but it's fine, it happens. You get naded. Right. What are you doing? There's a Zen near you, right? Okay. You won't kill her through trance, and if trance ends, the Zen gonna kill you. So right now you need to be a bit more careful, right? Mostly retreating, and if she still comes at you, you might need to scare her away, but you don't need to try and kill her right now.
And they say super. And they say super.
right? Because
And ready for the
And this ain't
وليهم قوتك.
We must hold them back.
And this ain't super real. It's my
right there. I would try to do it from a different angle, but it's okay. But after that, right? You get the earth shuttle. Right now, I would do it while both of us are swinging, right? If I press Q right now, he needs to be pretty good to actually block this, right? Yeah, the trance is technically still active, but we can still... The trance is gonna end soon, so it's killable, and even if not, we can still charge someone, or just charge someone, or kill after trance is gone, or kill someone else there, right, the ball or tracer. I don't like this, right? It's the same trick the other Rein is doing. People are using it since, I don't know if XQC invented it or just the first time I saw it was there, right? This 180 shuttle. I don't know if it's the replay or not.
Come out and face me!
But when you, even if you do that trick, right? Part of the...
Hammer down!
Oof. Part of the thing is to actually look at the enemy right.
Come out and face me! Hammer down!
This trick, I don't personally like it, but I don't know, maybe you did it fine. But for me, I didn't see you actually looking at the Rein. Maybe it's just replay fault. It doesn't really track this like camera panning, right? There's two people it's gonna work on, right? If you do it really good and actually make it convincing that you're actually looking at someone else, it might work on everyone. But against unexperienced players, it's probably gonna work almost all the time. But against Rein mains, right? They probably seen this trick more than once or twice in their lifetime. And to be honest, every time I see someone rotate this shield like this, all I think to myself is, okay, he has shatter, he wanna try and land it. Like, if before he had a chance of actually landing a shatter, right now this chance actually becomes smaller, because right now I understand what he thinks, what he wants, that he has a shatter that he wants to land it. He's trying to bait me right now. So right now it's golden opportunity for me to bait him, right? But you probably can do it convincingly, right? Actually doing something there. really being under pressure from the side. I don't know. I'm not that good at cheesy tactics, but I can tell you that most people who do this specific cheesy tactic, for someone experienced, it only helps me, honestly. Like there's time to do cheesy tactics as well, right? There's the flank shutter and the flank charge. I think they're a cheesy tactic, but they're actually really strong, right? Because when people don't acknowledge them, you can get huge value for practically free. And how you do this is they can work all the time, but they're stronger when the enemy is tilted or have pressure to do something, right? If he needs to get to to point in like 30 seconds and he's really pressured and you know it's his last fight, there's a lot of pressure on you, you're thinking about a lot of stuff, or you lost a few fights in a row and you're feeling like, oof, this Orc is always flanking, I really need to think about that. So you forget about thinking the other stuff. Those flank shutters and flank charges can be really strong, especially if you get Zarya to bubble you in case you need it, right? But this one I don't really like, but it's fine, it's your... you probably can do it good, right? But I don't know. From what I saw against enemy Reins, like I would rarely fall for that, right? Most of the time it's just as clear as day. They're trying to bait me.
We must hold them back.
And they say chivalry is my ultimate strategy.
Hello.
Seconds to live.
Double.
Your base is very good, right?
Enemy contact.
Diamond Rein.
Score.
You shield, you swing,
0
you
to
don't
1.
charge
Switching
badly.
sides.
At least you're fine. Like it's really about taste. But I don't
Initiating
think it's
match.
clear as day there's anything bad. Like your technical game is good, your awareness is good, everything is kind of working right.
Ready for
The
battle.
difference right now is really
I live for a good fight.
dive when you play. Right? It's about using your position.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
You
We
can't
all have
really
our
play him in speed. So
And they say
you need
chivalry
to
is
dive,
dead.
but he can't really choose when to engage you because you're the one choosing where you're fighting, right? You're stronger, he can't really
Healing enough.
move you from anywhere. So
Hello.
the pathing and space you're holding
5, 4,
are
3,
key choices.
2, 1.
And
Attackers
honestly, it's how
incoming.
they rhyme.
Defend
Both dive and
objective
go.
A.
Everyone, move together.
Get behind me.
enemy contact.
I like the going for the icon, right? It's not bad in general. That's really good if they give it to you for free, especially, right? I want my McCree and my Ana sitting right here. That's extremely valuable. And let's see if they don't have shield. I can just shield my team here, right? I don't even need to go and swing, just shield my team. It's a diamond level McCree, right? and an Ana, right? They don't have a shield, they'll have to retreat, right? Your poke damage will eventually knock them out of the point, and then when they're inside this, right, this commissary, you can just go and force them in, force them to keep the right, because you're keeping this corner and just not letting them get out, right? Moving from here or here. The Zen probably gonna hide here though, but anyway, you can pressure them really fast like this. The next decision I don't really like, right? Which is good if you wanted to kill the Zen, I guess, because you got really close to it. But let's look at your position right now, right? Besides the fact that you're forcing yourself into a choke, the enemy is split all around you, right? This Zen is here, this McCree is here, this Ana is here, this Og is here, right? And there's a ball there, and Tracer here, right? So you're completely surrounded, right? Let's leave the fact that this McCree is gonna die in a sec. It's not really your fault. You could have shielded him from there and he could actually get value, but that's a different story, right? This tactic is bad, right? Because let's remember what's their comp is, right? They're trying to surround you. Rein is bad at surroundment, right? You want everyone from the same side as much as you can. Obviously, you can't force them to come from one side and one side only, but as much as you can here, what's the problem, right? You're coming out. Theoretically, you want to swing at Zen, but you know you're surrounded by so many people. You know you have to shield, otherwise you're dead. But you can't even shield yourself properly, because the Zen is to your left, the McCree is to your main, the Ana is to the right, and the Og is even more to the right, right? And even if you want to get to swing in distance, you have to choose a target in advance, and that target can just retreat, while the others are actually getting closer and shooting at you. So that's the problem with being surrounded with Rein. You can't do a lot, right? You have speed boost, right? So theoretically you could have forced anyone you wanted out, but because they're split, you can't really force all of them, right? You want to close the distance while being able to shield yourself, swing a bit, shield yourself, get healing, swing again. Those species gonna die very fast. But right now you can't really protect anyone. You don't own any space right now. You don't even own the space you're standing on. And that's why I hate this location. What I do, right, this standard position, it's fine, but the enemy still has this relative high range. They can't really be without cover, so they can try and do it, but they can be here sometimes. So they get one angle, and when you try to push the choke, it really becomes a flank, and there's this or this one. It's really hard to push the point from this against flankers. The high ground is fine, especially like you have a Doomfist. I don't know if you can get a lot. It's hard for you to actually like help him too much, but if you own the high ground, it's easier for him to jump with slam, right? And yeah, you're not swinging a lot, but you still get value. The Zarya can still kill stuff, the McCree can kill stuff, the Ana can sleep someone, and you force them off the point. Right, that's one strategy. Staying here, poking for a bit, letting your team do their job, right? Another option is going from the left side, right? From here, if you come, right, you have relative good cover, right? You have this garbage can, this corner, you have this, like there's a lot of cover, right? And you can start taking it linearly, so it's really good against flankers, right? The only flank angle they have is here, which makes your healers a bit in danger, but there's always some flank angle, right? This Tracer and Ball right now have flank angles too. The stairs, they're not really great ones, but they still are, right? And and you can't really do a lot from here, right? Until you clear the Zen at least, right? You need to at least clear the Zen before you can actually get any space from here. Maybe if the McCree came with you, you could shield most of them, the McCree come, kill the Zen, and then you can start taking the rest, right? But you're basically coming from the left side here, right? You're doing the same. So I either go for the high ground or come from the left, right? If I come from the left, I'm starting to move them towards one location, right? I'm coming from the left and I'm starting to move them towards the right side, cleaning them up slowly but surely and gaining this space, right? Hopefully moving from cover to cover, maybe here and here, and forcing them towards this commissary or this location, and just, right, if I own this and this, the McCree can't stay here, the McCree have to retreat, the Ana and the Hog has to retreat as well. The Ana will probably retreat here, the Hog might retreat there or here or fight on point, but eventually, right, all of them will go to the right side there, and you'll stuff them at the commissary. Maybe someone will still stay there, but it's not really a good flank, right? Because all of your enemies are to this angle, right? If you stand around here, if you look this direction, all your enemies are in the same direction. Besides, like Tracer and Vault that are taking flanks alone, right? Right now, you don't really have a direction. You can actually hold the entire enemy team besides the flankers, right? You created more flankers for yourself, which is badly. You might have been able to kill that Zen, which is good thing, and then kill him, and then you can start taking that space, right? But that's a dangerous play. So either high ground or left, right? Taking that pathing could have been huge. Right now, Diana had to cross to come and heal you, right? That's insane. What could she have done, right? Because your route and your retreat was not into that route, right? Let's look at this, right? So Ana is trying to heal you, right? A bit late because she had to react to some other stuff. But now you got knocked to the corner by the ball. And Diana is in stairs. She's trying maybe a bit too much to heal you right now, but she is. But look what she has to do, right? She has to walk in front of an Hog face, right? She has to walk in front of this McCree and the Zen and Diana, right? She has to front line right now, and it's insane. All of them tries to protect you right now. They're focusing way too much resources trying to keep you safe from one wall, and they're completely forsaking the front line just to help you. And the reason for it is because you got knocked into a dangerous position right now. If you came from this direction in the first place, or kept the high ground and just dropped, Diana could have stayed here, right? She could have healed you from here. She could have stayed safe, right? She could have taken cover whenever she wanted. If you drop from the high ground. If you come from here, she can still do that, right? She can stay near this corner, and because you own this entire space, it's fine. Or if she wants to play a bit safer, she can be here, or these columns or something, if she wants to get some more sidelines to get a bit more aggressive or something. To get a nade or a slip, I don't know. So different pathings are good against different comps. Because our goal here is flankers, I would go for the left. People fighting behind the
Activate.
there's no reason
And this is
the right
and this
just like, you know, poking for it on the high ground, forcing the, let's say you're playing against a poke Rein comp with a poke Rein comp, right, and you're standing here. Eventually the Rein has to move to cover, right, because you can't stay here forever and just withstand your poke. His shield is gonna drop eventually. He's gonna retreat here. The moment he retreats here, you can jump down and force the fight over this corner and then win. This entire fight basically ends free, right? So it depends on different comps, right? But against flankers, this route is pretty good. This route is good in general, unless they're fighting for it, which makes it hard, right? If they're trying to actually fight for it, either by poking your backline from here or fighting this corridor here, right? It's really hard to actually climb this high ground. I mean, maybe not worth it that much, right?
Zenyatta is here.
Wait for me!
and this
Right? Then follow up like this, right? Either switch
For me!
or play in a pathing
Get behind
that forces them to be linear. Sometimes it's hard or impossible, right? I'm not like or something. I don't know how to play it. It's fine. It sounds good.
area won't hold forever! The objective is mine! Join me if you will!
And if there's two flankers that go aggressive right now on your backline, you don't try to go aggro too much. You wanna keep some pressure on the front line. Recharge your cooldowns as much as you can, keeping them for safe keeping, and just give your backline as much space and require as low resources as you can to let them handle the backline. And when they you can put more pressure, right? Let's look a bit back, right?
Get behind me!
If there's a fight going on over there, an active fight, look at this. You wanna go back to that corner and let your McCree and Anna and Doomfister handle this Tracer, handle this Zen, right? This Doom gets the Zen, and he gets the Tracer afterwards. Right, at this point, the only flanker is Ball, really. The McCree is going for high ground and I noon from there in a sec, but right now you could have had more cooldowns. You can put slow pressure and just to gain back the resources they spent, right? You didn't have to force Anna to take this ridiculous I don't know why is Anna even going so far right now. Let's look at this.
There you go.
and this is
So
super.
all and because you can't really help against the enemy Ana because she has high ground, right? But you need to try. And force. And right now, if you had more resources and if you have defended the corner first, you need to try and actually clean up those lines behind you.
It's hand.
Hey, the moment you get a peek you have 10 and 15 seconds right to actually get value from it. Every second you get more and more value, you just need to keep the fight active.
Taking the objective!
Walk it off.
Join
You're
me!
powered up. Get in there.
Hammer down! I am
I don't have any real thing to say anymore, right? Because it's not about your play, right? You're playing fine every fight. I'm saying some minor stuff, but it's not about how you play in the end, right? It's about how you capture space, right? You need to keep the enemy in a linear position. You need to have your backline some safe space, and you need to have yourself some safe space because the enemy is always split. You're always so confused, right? Because you don't know what to do. The Zen is shooting at you from there, the McCree is shooting at you from there, and you're like, what can I do? Jesus, can someone shoot that fucking McCree from the right side, right? It's so tiring and annoying. I understand that. I played Rein in those scenarios, right? What can fix it is either swapping, right, or split. You can go monkey with your comp as well, right? If you wanna be a Rein one trick, that's okay too. Just take a different pathing, right? You can go here. You can take the high ground and just poke. You don't have to swing, right? Against this comp, you have a really hard time swinging until they reach inside, right? But here that's difficult, right? Because the McCree is taking this angle, the Hog here, Diana is top there, the Zen is either here or here. So someone can just take this one, right, and just go for a flank whenever he wants it. This is really hard to maintain, and you notice it depends on the enemy team, on your team, right? But you notice the enemy team is flanking a lot. You really need to cancel out this flanking out, and to do that you have to take a different pathing. This is in general pretty good, and specifically against a lot of flankers, this one is pretty good, right? And I would not pressure only the point and think about the point or killing. I would just clean them up from left to right when I'm coming here, right? If there's an Ana up top, then I want to clean her up first, because if I'm going to go right side, the Ana is going to be a flanker, right? I don't want to be a flanker, so I need to clear her up before. If the McCree is here, I'm going to go for him. Everything from left to right, forcing them to the right side, and slowly taking the entire left side to me. Okay,
60 seconds remaining.
I don't really have to put